head back into town.
Well, don't tell me you're hungry again.
It's been dang near an hour since we ate. Besides, we're just here to celebrate the General's birthday. It can't take that long.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But I'm healthy.
You know, all this fuss is a little embarrassing. Imagine changing the name of my hometown. Now, Clear Creek was a good name. It has a good sound to it.
I think Cloninger has a marvelous ring to it.
Wouldn't doubt you two had something to do with the statue business.
Now, what do you know about the statue?
Well, let's say I wouldn't want to recommend your security officer. Oh, Willis!
Ira, I assure you the statue was a spontaneous gesture from the people of Cloninger.
Flattering. I don't know how spontaneous it was. At least, you know, I'm human enough to enjoy it. I still think you two are up to something.
Now, Ira, you've had a brilliant career. Many honors have been bestowed upon you, decorations. Your hometown wants to add one more to a long list. Now, what is the matter with that?
Ben, you are beginning to sound like the judge here. But the flowery speech, and you rode a long way to make.
You wanted me, sir?
Yes, Sergeant. Give me some help with this infernal sash. It's not the only puzzle I can't figure out around here. Willis not only ran my headquarters company like a Swiss watch, he found time to learn how to tie one of these sashes properly.
Well, somebody had to, sir.
Insubordination, if ever I heard it. Judge, isn't there some way we can discipline a retired sergeant?
I doubt it. General?
Oh, Mr. Freed. Barnabas Freed. Mr. Freed is a reporter, San Francisco Journal.
The Journal sent you clear down here. They must have heard about the celebration.
No, they didn't send me. I was passing through Cobus and...
Well, whatever your reason for coming, you're just in time for the festivities.
I'm not interested in the festivities, General. I came down here to get a story on you and the man you killed out here yesterday.
Changed much, Mr. Freed. Still the gadfly.
Well, General, I'm a reporter, and I try to say exactly what I mean. And I say it's likely that a murder took place here yesterday.
Sergeant!
Sir, he can't talk like that.
Well, there was some trouble here yesterday. A horse thief was shot and killed.
And the law was duly informed.
Did you know about this?
Yes?
And the hearing, when is it?
The sheriff investigated. The facts were clear and simple.
No hearing.
Sergeant! Well, get some air now, Willis. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Still doesn't like reporters, eh?
Some reporters. See, when he was with us, Mr. Freed liked to travel with the advance patrols, or ahead of them, contrary to all orders. Well, Sergeant Willis put a stop to that, and it made Mr. Freed very unhappy.
Well, that's all past history, General. It's already in the books. I'm interested in yesterday. By the way, was Willis with you when the horse thief was killed?
Yes, he was. He was. And there will be a hearing day after tomorrow at my insistence.
I think the general has been very patient, Mr. Freed.
I came all this way to find out what happened, and he still hasn't told me.
You're interrupting a very...
That's all right, Judge. Sergeant Wallace and I surprised 3 horse thieves on my property, all armed, stealing my horses. We tried to capture them. There was some shooting. And I killed one of the horse thieves.
And what happened to the other 2?
They got away.
Oh, excuse me, gentlemen. We should be leaving. There's a birthday celebration in town waiting for the guest of honor.
Certainly, my dear. We'll be right with you. Oh, Mr. Freed, why don't you join us? You know, this could be interesting. You might actually enjoy yourself. Come on, come on.
Must be a disappointment, having what looked like a big story just plain vanish.
I didn't know it had.
It has, and the hearing will prove it. If you wait around until tomorrow, I can promise you an even bigger story.
Judge, front and center, we can't start without you.
Be right with you, Ben. A story that'll make headlines, even in San Francisco.
Privileges of rank. Have enough rank, you can sweep anything under the rug, even murder.
I'm afraid you lost me, mister.
The general killed a man here yesterday. Now they're getting the whitewash out.
I'm sure I don't have to tell you why we're gathered here today. There isn't a true son or daughter in Nevada who doesn't know and honor the name of General Ira Cloninger. Catwalk Ridge, Stacy's Pass, King's Mill, Atalaya, Cold Harbor, the campaigns on the Rosebud and the Snake. All these and more have placed General Cloninger's name indelibly in the histories our children will read. Let it also be known that his courage and leadership did not go unheeded in his own time by his own people.
You really believe all this?
Look, if you don't like the speech, why don't you leave?
I'm a reporter. I hear an ugly rumor, and I want to check it out for the truth. When people get evasive, I get very, very curious.
Yeah, well, rumors are just rumors, aren't they? I guess most of them are pure lies, huh?
About half of them.
Well, what makes you think this one's the truth?
An itch. An instinct. After a lot of years, you get to know.
It may make sense to you, but it doesn't to me.
Was given the tough assignments.
You know where Angel's Point is?
Yeah, it's agency land, about 4 or 5 hours from here.
You say he's a hero. I say he may have been once, but he's not anymore.
The nation has long held
You want to prove I'm wrong?
in high esteem.
Show me how to find Angel's Point.
On his birthday,
Unless, of course, you're afraid it was murder.
You're the reporter. You want to dig up dirt, do it on your own.
Have a small present for him. From this moment on, this town will be known as Cloninger. And this statue, now to be unveiled, is our sincere thank you to one of the great men of our time. Mrs. Cloninger?
Thank you very much, Judge. I'm truly deeply flattered. I am indeed a very fortunate man. But the wars are now back of us, they're behind us. And now I've come back home to the land and to the people that I love. My dear wife and I will never forget this birthday. It's one of the nicest, one of the best I've ever had. I must say, I think the statue is much better looking than I am.
All right, my friend. Stay here with the rest of the fools and cheer for a fake legend.
Hey, mister. You're so sure you're right. What if you're wrong? You give him a public apology?
Whatever the truth is, that's what I'll print.
All right, I'll take you to Angel's Point. Take the buggy down the livery stable. You'll need a horse to get up there.
Governor. Your nominating committee wants me to run for governor.
Yes, General. The state needs a man who stands taller than its present problems.
You can win, General. You'll sweep the state like nobody ever has before. I wouldn't be surprised if the other side just capitulates.
I'll have to think about this, gentlemen.
Of course.
Right now, I think we could all use another drink. Governor.
Angel's Point will be right over that next hill. Still don't see what you think you're going to find out from those Indians anyway.
I expect to be able to prove they're not horse thieves.
Sheriff did investigate.
The sheriff was elected by the people that changed the name of Clear Creek to Cloninger. Those same people are putting the general's statue up in the town square right now. Now, a sheriff that threw mud on that statue, he could be out of work.
You sure got a big hate on for that general, don't you?
No, but I do know him. Why don't we go find out if I'm right?
Follow me, Mr. Reporter.
We mean you no harm. We only want to ask you a couple of questions.
Put the gun away. They're not the general's men. "7 days we trailed the herd down the mountains and across the reservation and into the canyons. They were not good horses. But when you're on foot, any horse is a good one. A long trail.
Chief Graybuck, have I got that right?
Sam Graybuck. When we come to the agency, we take names from the great book. I am Samuel. My son is Thomas. He was my son, Jacob.
Look, Graybuck, if you caught those horses like you said, why would the general want to take them away from you? He had a herd of his own.
I know the general. We are old enemies.
Graybuck, are you saying that there was bad blood between you and the general, and that's the reason he killed your son, Jacob?
I say we cross this land with my horses. Now Jacob is dead. A white general does not prove what is his. He sees and he takes.
You have any proof of what you've told us? Were the horses branded?
No brands.
Well, that should be proof of a sort. The general's horses should be branded.
Yeah, they should be, but a lot of ranchers don't bother to brand their remount horses. They just let them run loose like the ones Graybuck found. No brands, no marks, nothing.
Did anybody see you catch those horses?
Only a rabbit and a hawk.
Jacob sold one of the horses to a man near Tonopah.
Well, who was this man? Did you get his name?
No.
There's not going to be any proof.
For Jacob would need no proof. The horses will be ours.
Look, Graybuck, there's a legal way to handle this. Now, the treaty says...
The thieves' treaty. First they take our land, then our horses. Now our sons.
Well, what's your best guess, Joe? I'm not changing my mind, but I admit I'm wondering if they're telling the truth.
Well, you're the reporter. Why ask me? We're not going to get anything else out of Graybuck, though. Let's get some sleep. We'll start back first thing in the morning.
I knocked on his door. He'll be right down.
Thank you, Willis.
Will you need me anymore?
No, you had a busy day. Why don't you go get a little rest now? Huh?
I had a good day. I liked every minute of it. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Willis.
Ben, I don't want to steal your sleep, but no, I wanted to talk to you alone.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, General. I was just getting a little reading done before I got to sleep.
I need your help, Ben. Sit down, will you? Thank you. Want some of this coffee or a drink?
No, I'll have a little coffee, thank you. That's fine.
Judge Donovan, he's an honest man. He's a good friend of mine, as you know. We hunt together, we fish together, and we tell tall tales to each other. But I have a feeling he's prejudiced.
In what way?
Well, in my favor. So he wants me to be governor.
That disturbs you? He was only one member of that nominating committee. I'm sure he told you your selection was unanimous.
I'm not a politician, Ben. I'm just an ex-soldier trying to build a horse ranch.
You were a commanding general.
So I was, but I'm not sure that qualifies me. You want me to run, hmm? You must have your reasons.
Hmm?
I'd like to know what they are.
One big reason, Ira. The war tore this country apart. The hatreds and wounds are still with us. There are men here in Nevada who wore the gray who won't even speak to men who wore the blue.
So the war still goes on.
Precisely. But you've been able to close the gap. After Appomattox, you had men and officers from the Confederacy serving in your command.
We had our problems, too, Ben, a lot of them.
But you ironed them out. And now you have men from both armies working in your ranch.
A few ranch hands, yes, but that doesn't constitute a state.
It takes a very special talent to bring men together. And the men on the nominating committee were from both sides. But there was one thing we all agreed upon. We need your leadership in our state house.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much.
Something wrong?
No. Bertie, how do you really feel about my running for governor?
Does it matter?
Hasn't it always?
I can think of once or twice it didn't. You never listen to anyone when it's something you believe in. You have the courage of your convictions. I respect you for that. I love you for it.
Honey, this isn't a command decision. This is for both of us to decide.
You'd be a fine governor.
We won't have as much time to spend together. You have been patient with me now for 42 years, isn't it? 42 years. Bertie, you think you can be patient for 4 more years?
I've been happy for 42 years. So long as we're together, I'll be happy anyway.
You're a sweetheart. Absolute sweetheart for 42 years. Bertie, you will make an absolutely radiant governor's lady. Absolutely radiant. You will.
Oh, Ira.
Some fresh coffee, sir.
Oh, thank you, Sergeant. Thank you very much. I know that the judge is a late riser, but then Ben is a rancher. I thought he'd probably be up and stirring around by now.
Well, so far not a sound out of him, sir.
Coffee at first light, the way I like it. The rest of the world's still asleep, Sergeant.
You know something, General? The day I got my stripes and started as your orderly, you had me a little scared. I remember I was making coffee. Nobody up but the birds, and I turned around, there you were. Yes, sir, that's when I knew I was going to like this job.
They're back, Sergeant, they're back.
Thomas, the gate!
I'm all right.
Get him into town to a doctor.
out the gun?
They have my son.
You should have let the redskin fight it out here, Cartwright. He's gonna hang anyway.
Cloninger! You killed Thomas, my son.
I warned you, Graybuck.
You did not have to kill him.
You were in my corral on my land.
Your land. That does not put justice in your rifle. We came for what is ours. 6 horses.
You came to steal. Willis, get him into the sheriff.
I'll handle it, General. Come on, move.
My horses. And now you killed both my sons.
Well, I guess the charges start with attempted murder, huh?
If that red devil had been a better shot, he'd have killed the greatest man in this state.
Graybuck didn't shoot the general.
How do you know you weren't there?
There's his rifle, Sheriff. Why don't you check it?
Clean. Hasn't been fired recently. This one has.
They took it off the young Indian, the one that got himself killed.
Attempted murder, then. All persons involved in the commission of a felony are equally guilty. Right, Judge?
Yes, that's the law.
Now, do you want to add horse stealing to this?
Graybuck said that 6 of the horses in the corral belonged to him.
Mr. Cartwright, Graybuck is lying.
He told us the same thing last night.
Where was this?
How about Angel's Point?
I was there. I heard it, too.
Oh, where are you now? The 2 of you talking to wanted men. But you didn't report it and you didn't bring them in. I ought to lock you both up.
Why don't you do that? My paper would love the story and the headlines, but I doubt if the general would.
Well, there's no reason to get excited, gentlemen. I'm sure the question of the ownership of the horses will be looked into.
There's no looking into needed. Them Indians...
Save your testimony for the hearing, Mr. Willis.
When will that be, Judge?
Tomorrow.
Ira's resting comfortably, napping. The doctor said his wound is not serious.
That's good news.
I looked for you when the doctor left, but you weren't in the house. I saw you in the corral. I'm a direct woman. When something troubles me, I go straight to the source. Why were you looking at our horses?
Graybuck said he came to get horses that belonged to him.
And what did you find?
Well, I found some of the horses were bone thin. 2 of those had split hooves.
Ben, are you giving credence to what a horse thief said? Are you trying to build a case against Ira?
Well, it makes no difference what I think. There will be questions. When a man runs for high office, everything he does is...
Let them ask questions. Ira has nothing to fear. He spent his life under the spotlight. Every act, every order, subject to the closest scrutiny. There is not a black mark on his record anywhere.
I agree. The nominating committee examined his record very carefully.
Then how can you doubt him?
I didn't say I did.
Split hooves. We have rough and rocky country on our ranch, and places where the grazing is poor. I'm sorry, Ben, but it hurts to think that a good friend could even... Yesterday, you asked Ira to run for governor. The fact that renegades tried to steal his horses hasn't changed him. He's the same splendid man he was yesterday.
Oh, not quite, my dear. I'm 1 day older.
Ira, you're supposed to be resting.
I was, yes, but I heard my name being mentioned in vain, and I decided to join you.
But the doctor said...
But our first rule, never listen to the doctor. Dear, we could use a little coffee. Huh? Ben, you know, these walls look thick, but some voices go right straight through them, and hers is one of them. What's troubling you, Ben?
2 men have been killed.
2 Indian horse thieves, yes. There would have been 3 dead men if that bullet that hit me had been about 3 inches lower and a little to the right.
Yes, I'm well aware of that.
You know, that hearing will find me blameless. And even the mud-raking newspapers will have to print the verdict. I suppose the others will probably suggest that I be given another medal, hmm? Well, while we're waiting for the coffee, Ben, why don't we have a drink to the opposition?
Where's Hoss?
Well, my guess he's finishing his second steak about now. He got to send her the 10th telegram. His appetite got the better of him.
I don't blame him. I could use a steak myself.
Come on, I'll buy.
14 telegrams altogether. Every sheriff and newspaper office between here and the Nez Perce reservation.
Well, Graybuck did say that nobody saw him catch those horses.
Yeah, but he didn't say that nobody saw them after they caught them.
Here he comes. Well, brother, how's the steak?
It's all right, a little small, so I had 2 of them.
Yeah, what'd I tell you, huh?
You know, Graybuck lost 1 man at the General's ranch. Why did he go back a second time?
He's Nez Perce.
So?
Well, he ain't a man without a horse. The better horse he's got, the prouder he is.
And if somebody steals his horse?
He'll just keep going back till he gets it.
Yeah, they kill him.
Hey, there's a better restaurant around the corner, and I hear they got great steaks.
Want to try it?
I think I'll join you. I ain't had no dessert yet.
All right, we'll have 2 steaks for dessert.
I looked out the window, and I saw 2 Indians in my corral stealing my horses.
Well, what did you do then, General?
Well, I did what any man would do if someone were stealing his property. I got a rifle and went outside to stop them. I yelled a warning, and I fired a warning shot, and I didn't stop them. They opened fire. I returned the fire, and they were riding out on my horses when I hit one of them.
And one of them shot you?
That is correct, yes.
I was a couple of steps behind the General coming out of the house, but it's exactly as he said.
This is your chance, Graybuck. We're waiting to hear your side of this.
After a white general speaks in a white man's court, who hears what a Nez Perce says?
You better speak while you have the chance. Very well. Prisoners to be held for trial on charges already read. Hearing's adjourned.
Willis, see that the General gets some rest, huh?
Oh, I will, Judge.
See you later, Ira. Ben, we've been invited to the General's ranch for supper and a strategy meeting. As members of the nominating committee,
Yes, I know. We're obligated.
You run a nice, fast hearing, Judge.
Which your paper will duly report. I hear you've been burning up the telegraph wires.
Your sources are accurate?
No answers?
1. The Nez Perce reservation. Graybuck, Thomas, and Jacob had permission to leave the reservation on foot to hunt wild horses.
Not wild horses, Mr. Freed. Unbranded horses. And they found them on the General's ranch.
ropes ready, and they're building the scaffold tomorrow. This is your only chance. Get up.
If I say no?
You get a bullet now.
Well, as I told you they would, the hearing completely exonerated me. Now, that is in the past. We can turn our attention to more important things. I think I should begin my campaign right here in Cloninger and then stump the whole state. What do you think?
Fine idea, man.
Ben, you agree?
Well, I can't agree that it's all in the past. I don't think the trouble has begun yet.
You're kidding.
Oh, there will be a trial.
Of course, mere formality, and the jury will find Gray Buck guilty.
What?
Of all the charges, Ben. Attempted murder, horse stealing, trespassing. You look dubious. Is something troubling you? Something wrong?
I was wondering why the first killing hadn't been mentioned at the hearing.
Well, the sheriff investigated, Ben.
Yes, and found I was completely justified.
That's right.
Where did it happen?
What difference?
Tell him, Ira, you have nothing to hide.
Of course I haven't. About a mile south of here. On my land.
That's open range, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, any man can ride across open range without hindrance.
Any man, yes, Ben. Any white man. But not savages. Not Indian horse thieves.
You knew them to be horse thieves?
Well, Indians on my land. What else?
Did you talk to them?
Talk? Why should I? You don't have to talk to savages to know what they are. Worthless, no good animals.
Ira, that isn't really what you mean.
The hell it isn't. Huh. I fought them through 3 campaigns. I know them for what they are.
The enemy.
You don't understand, Ben.
I don't understand. Please, explain it to me.
The blue and the gray were enemies, yes, but that was different. 2 armies, decent men, opposed to each other, fighting for what they held was right.
And when it was over, you worked to bring both sides together. Now, that's the leadership we want, Ben.
The Indian wars are over. Peace has been made, treaties have been signed.
War Department mistakes. We should have killed them all while we had a chance. It would be a much better world today.
Ira, you feel you have the right to kill an Indian simply because he rides across your open range?
Thieving, murdering, scalping, mutilating savage. Yes, I do. And I will every chance I get.
Ira, don't say that.
He has said it. I'll report this to the nominating committee, as I must. I'm certain the court will ask about this, too.
You're turning your back on me after all I've done for this country. You're turning your back because of red filth not fit to walk the earth. Go ahead. Talk to the committee, Mr. Cartwright. And when you're through with them, you'll find they still want me as governor.
I'll be at the hotel in town.
The guest room is all made up, Judge. Don't you red out on me. Have another drink.
General. All right.
What's the matter? It's almost morning. You can't just sit here.
Go to bed, Bertha.
Are you sure you're all right?
Go to bed now, Bertha.
I thought you ought to know, sir.
No, I thought it's...
Gray Buck escaped, sir. He's loose.
He escaped? Gray Buck is loose? Oh? I'm glad to hear it. I'll find that thieving savage, and I'll kill him, and stand completely vindicated.
I heard someone yelling.
That was a battle cry, Judge. Gray Buck is out of jail. He's my Indian now. I'm going to run him down and kill him and prove to Cartwright, that committee, and to everyone else that I was right all the time.
I think you ought to let the law handle this.
I'm in charge here. Don't tell me what to do. Don't even try.
I'll saddle the horses.
You're not going anywhere, Sergeant.
But, General, sir...
Sit down and shut up! Both of you. That's an order.
Ira!
Boy, found you. Good. Gray Buck's gone. I'm getting a posse together to go after him.
How'd he get away?
He had help. I know who it was. I caught a glimpse of him just before he cracked my skull. He'll answer to me, but I want that end in first.
So, Gray Buck's gone. How convenient. No Gray Buck, no trial. And no scandal to knock the general out of the gubernatorial race. But there will be a scandal, and a howling scandal. Gray Buck or no Gray Buck.
Just what are you talking about?
I'm talking about these. 2 telegrams. One from a sheriff 100 miles from here who says he saw Gray Buck, Thomas, and Jacob ride through his town with 7 horses. The other's from a newspaper editor who says he bought one of those horses.
I sold one. That leaves 6. Gray Buck said the general stole 6 horses from him.
And shot and killed 2, Indians to do it.
No, he didn't shoot them for the horses. He shot them because they were Indians. His land.